Hi all, I'm Infinity. I finished top 5 last season, and in the next 30 minutes, I'll cover the optimal vanilla build with a guide to the 4-long base every single pro uses, and the most up-to-date, competitively accepted version with turbine setups, cannon tiny doors, defenses, and more. And after that, I'll showcase the Stalactites base design with a direct upgrade over anything else that's just been invented just around a couple, or at least popularized just a couple months ago, and it'll showcase the newly popularized laser tiny doors. Enjoy! You know, something I love about Forts is that there's no limit to how good you can be at this game. I played for this game quite a little bit now. The last tutorial I made was about the 4-long base design, and it was when I had around 2,500. Now I'm close to, now I'm at 3,000. And there's actually a lot more new things I learned about base design, about everything, and a lot of new metas that have been developed. So I want to go ahead and cover all of that in this Forts tutorial here. So first, starting off here, you want to go ahead and get your mines, get your turbines. You know how it is. Immediately, you should go ahead and get one mine, assuming you're not Pinch Fist, which did get nerfed in the new update, which is why I'm going to remake a Stalactites video tutorial in this video. You want to go ahead and slant your turbines. Something looking like this should be fine. Don't do too much, don't do doing too little is probably fine, but don't do too much. And you want to make this flat. Make sure you're building this out of background tracing. Go ahead and get your 2 turbines. Let's try it like this. You drag this for long. If you don't drag it, you'll die. So please do it. Sell this node, sell this, and go like this. So now you want to build out all the way to the left, such as this. And generally a good point to stop, generally a good point to like where I put this is, for example, this is too bad. You want to go ahead and connect it so that your this strut is 104, 105 energy is good enough. Something looking like this so that you know where to put it. If this is like this, then you'll start have issues. And before you connect these two, which I know seems, before you start to connect extra struts, which seem very tempting, make sure to keep in mind that wood is expensive. You don't want to build your wood with this base design. You don't need to build all this base design until you can place stuff on this stuff, right? So go ahead, we're going to go ahead and place our tech, for example, if we're going full eco, which is currently the meta right now. And we can also, for example, place cannon tech. I wonder if I can... Yes, I can do this here. So I can get an upgrade center here and place this cannon tech here as well. So this should generally be your usual base design. This should be what you should get first. But, so build order is very important. Let's go ahead and do this. And you drag this all the way out to the left here. And you want to get this strut to around 100 energy, 98 energy, somewhere around that range. So you connect this like that. And then you can go ahead and connect this like this. So you stop connecting it when you notice that, when you start noticing that this platform is flat. If this isn't flat, if this is slanted, then turbines will have less efficiency. So this is why you want to lean your base until your turbine is flat. So something looking like this. Now you drag out to the left, such as this. Almost full length or close to full length, something looking like this. So this is 108 energy. Or 109 energy or something around that range. And now you can connect directly to the ground, which is a little bit more expensive, but what I find a little bit better is that you can go ahead and build down like this, connecting like this, making sure this is a full length strut, 75 energy, and connecting this, which is 108 energy. This being as long as possible does make your bases on a lot easier to build later on, so make sure to do that. And here you can go ahead and connect this, such as this. So now you have this. And then you can go ahead and keep dragging this all the way to the left, not all the way, it's fine. Just make sure this is around 100 energy, and that'll be okay. So you go ahead and you want to go ahead and make a node where this and this, all of this connects to each other. And sometimes this is hard to get. For example, if you can't connect this node, then maybe you want to go down / shorter a little bit. If you can't connect this, you want to go down like this. And if you're just struggling to connect it all together, make sure to reevaluate this node to the left a little bit, making sure you can still get these struts, obviously. And maybe this node a little bit down, or this strut a little bit smaller. And with more practice, you'll start to understand the intricacies of base design. Obviously, as I explained, it's a lot more complicated than it actually is. Let's get the rest of our turbines. And the rest of our things. This is a little bit high. You generally want all your struts to be around 100 energy, just because it's easier to build boxes with. But yeah, that's your general base design that you should be using. We're gonna also go here do front stability now, which I think most people should know, but as the usual structure goes, a node as close to the front as possible. Make sure you're holding control with everything, by the way. And for every part, you want to build this node as high as possible. You want to drag this down to the left. Well, god damn, I messed it up. To the right, to the left, up right, and up left. So most of the time, you actually can't drag this drag this because something is in the way. I mean, you just usually can't drag this at all. So if you're having issues with that, what I usually do is you need to get the spine stability tech, which is a lot harder to do because you're not using 3-longs here, which is why you go down like this and drag this to the left. So if you can get this 4-long, and sometimes this 4-long is difficult to get. I personally do this. You can, I mean, you want to get this threat essentially as well, just because it's better stability. And you can go ahead and go up like this, drag this to the left, and you just go ahead and go up like this, and can I? Like this. For example, this is essentially, this will be very noticeable, similar to my old stability tech or base design video that I created, but this is just a bit of an improvement with more reasonable build orders and cheaper bases overall, while still maintaining a similar level of stability by removing the excess struts. If you want more stability, you can also drag this to the left, and if you can see this 4-long, you can drag this to the right again, so you get this 4-long, which is pretty nice to have. And more stability here, if you're cannon stacking a lot, you can get this into this, and you can get this and this. So notice, for example, this strut is difficult to select. You can click this node and move this to drag this to the right a lot easier. Once you select the node, you can select its surrounding struts a lot easier, which is the good news. This is 61 energy, which is very crucial, by the way. Don't do anything different than just a couple numbers away from 61 energy, because you can drag this strut, but also you should be able to drag this strut later on in the game. While I can't drag this right now, once I put even just a little bit of weight, I can. And you want this higher because here, you want to really evaluate how much of the slanting of a wood spam you do. I see way too many people slanting their wood spam too much, or sometimes too little. But for example, if you slant your wood spam too much, like I'm going to do right now, you're gonna have your turbines extremely sad and extremely depressed once you build out a little bit, because this wood is conflicting with its, turbine efficiency. So you want to go ahead and try to slant your turbines. Well, you want to go ahead and try to get this as high as possible while still maintaining the ability to get these 4-longs. And also, additionally, you want to evaluate how much slanting of the wood spam you should do. So usually, I think something looking like this, generally eyeballing is kind of the only way. And dragging this not all the way out, but like 53 energy is fine. Something looking like this. Make sure to drag this down now. Drag this to the left now like this. And looking something like this, so that you can get this 109 energy, which should be perfect, which is why I didn't make this a full length, but pretty close to full length. Now you drag 51 energy like this, don't drag it like this, individual strut like this, and like this. So you can get this strut, make sure you can get that strut. And notice I can't connect this immediately right now, so when I get my energy defense, which I'll do later, make sure I'm dragging like this, so there's this 4-long. Getting my energy shield like this, and now I can connect it like this, and since there's like a 2-long over here, this doesn't snap that too easily. And if we want to keep wood spamming, it's not that sad. If you want to go ahead and layer dense wood spam, which is definitely not needed, but it's nice to have inside your base. I recommend dense wood spam more on the inside of your base, and if anything's blinking, it's really not an issue because you have 4-longs everywhere. I don't have a 4-long there, but I have 4-longs almost everywhere. You get the point. Now, once you have the rest of your base set up, you want to go ahead and build up like this. Drag this to a little bit to the left. And this here, your cannon can be a little bit forward and a little bit back with some error margin. But, it's at the end of the day, it's your choice. But I recommend here for the best weight distribution, you go ahead and you want to... there's an option to do 3-long cannon setups, but 2-long cannon setups are a little bit less prone to fire beams and howitzers and whatnot. So you want to go ahead and do it like this. You want the cannon platform your cannons are standing on to be slanted a little bit closer down to as opposed to up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So notice my cannon platform is slanted just a little bit down, and these struts are relatively short, but not too short. Go ahead, you can go drag up like this. 64, 63, 62 energy, of course, is the right number for cannons. And if you want to consistently have the same box, you can always drag the cross bracing here, which is a cool fourth step. So you go ahead and place your cannons, and for tiny doors, which hopefully people should know, but it's very important to get it right. If you don't know how to get it right, you can absolutely obliterate your cannon setup. But I'm also going to showcase something else as well in a second. That's, just been popularized. So you go ahead and go here like this, and around halfway through your cannon is fine. I see way too many people, and I mean way too many people do something looking like this, which shoots down a little bit easier, but like it's just a big door at this point. I mean, it's the most door snappable thing ever. Oh, hey. I forgot to add this in the video, but fun fact, you can also, for example, in this game here, my opponent puts lasers here, which means that I need to shoot my cannons down. And with half doors, it's very difficult. So you can see here, you can see like a slight downwards curve on here, so that my cannon still have an angle on his, lasers, which is very nice to do. You can also make big doors if you want to shoot down later on in the game. But yeah, you can go ahead and fluctuate your tiny doors if needed, if need to shoot down. And you really need to get your cannons to be some half size, something looking like this. Now you want to drag this to the left a little bit, something looking like this, making this strut is as short as possible. Drag this up, down, and then once you get this, once you get those parts, it becomes a lot easier as you drag the horizontal strut like this. And you get this horizontal as well as you just keep cannon stacking. And now it's the wood spam. And let's go ahead and just get the rest of our defenses a little bit more here. You'll notice that this is going to be very, very slow to unbox. For example, I'm going to, even with my fastest APM, it takes a hassle for me to unbox here. Though actually that wasn't that bad. What a cool tip you can do is you can place, for example, 2 doors, making sure you defend immediately here. And then you can place a sandbag here, and well, everything's converted, which makes life a lot easier. That's certainly how you unbox. So now, if you want to go ahead and do sandbags, you can do this. So I know in my past tutorial, I just went for something closer to this, to a full length here, but there's actually like new sandbag tech that's been popularized, which this is going to require a lot of skill for people to use if you don't want to do this. I think this will take a lot of time to get used to, and this is very high level gameplay. You can place sandbags here obviously without reducing your cannon angle too much, though keep in mind the more sandbags you do place, it's going to reduce your cannon angle more and more. If you're going to be top base in like a 4v4, I don't recommend doing any sandbag defense at all, or heck, I wouldn't even defend your cannons all that far, because the more cannon defense you do, ultimately you're gonna get less cannon angles. And in a cannon stack situation, if you're just 1v1ing, you don't only need to shoot at like one spot in their base. You can spam as many sandbags and doors and whatnot as you want. But in the 4v4 situation, once you kill, for example, their top base, then you have to start adjusting your cannons for the rest of their bases, which becomes just generally a hassle, and there's kind of no point doing that. But it's something really sweaty you can do is, let's build another energy shield here, making sure this can be full length. Don't make these full length because the cannon shot would need to come from above and just go here, which is just very unlikely. So full length energy shield here to protect against literally everything, and the rest is good. So now you want to go ahead and keep building it out to the side like this, making sure that this is horizontal, okay? Not up, not down, here. Has to be here, okay? Here, here, here. And once again, even if you build it perfectly, you'll lose cannon angles, but it's okay. Now you can keep dragging to the side. Now you can place sandbags. So notice here, I don't just connect this like this, because for example, if a couple cannon shells, I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate on with the opposite base here. God, I hate this. Perfect, absolutely beautiful. Right here, exactly. It hits here, right? Now, say they have a volley of cannons, but your cannon doors here might be dangerous. So you can quickly replace doors, but that won't build fast enough. So what we can do is quickly spam sandbags in front like this, which only started being played really like since a couple months ago that I've adopted it recently as well. Make sure to get this for long now so that I've built enough. And here, any further cannon shots, which hopefully I can shoot with this wobbling base. Can you let me be? Right, you see, you're doing better. The reason why my entire cannon stack kind of collapsed there is because I shot like 8 shots in there without repairing, and all the background bracing broke. But you know, it's more stable. Trust me, it is. And for example, usually people fire their cannon volleys in like kind of swarms. They try to fire their cannons all at once, which increases the chance of them breaking through. But in a chance, a lot of times, for example, you can fire all your cannons and then quickly block it up with sandbags, so that when their cannon shots return, you can get these 0 metal repair and 0 metal build sandbags to quickly cover everything, which is just amazing. However, the downside to this is that the sandbags are not easy to select, and also they're very if I didn't have fast builder on, or if I wasn't hurricane, they're very slow to delete. So only when you're sure that you want to restrict your angle, and only when you're sure that when you're sure that like you have the skill to do this in a competitive setting, then you can do this. But otherwise, I do recommend these bottom sandbags as, you know, they're very helpful as overall. So now we're going to do back turbines. In the recent update, they made cannons go from 3000 energy to 3500 energy, which is a rather massive nerf. So you're going to have to use back turbines a lot earlier now. So go ahead and build up like this. Go horizontal like this. And then you drag up like this, drag up like this, and drag up like this. And you want to go ahead and get these forelongs if possible. They're not needed, I guess. Well, they're not super crucial, but it's pretty nice to have. Now you connect this like this, and then you just drag this to the left here. And you can build this down, drag this all the way to the left here. And here you can just drag this a little bit to the left here. Something looking like this. So 2 boxes. And then the rest is normal. So now we can get turbine here, and turbine here. Very good turbine efficiency. Very happy turbines. Once again, let's go ahead and get cannon doors. And make sure the sandbag defense also adds a lot of extra weight too. So make sure you can hold that. And now for back setup, which is why I really love this base design. It makes expanding backwards a lot easier. You go like this, so you can connect this and this, making sure this is as 107 or 109 or as long as possible. And then here, you just kind of do this. You kind of here, and then here. There we go. Now your back's done, and you can go ahead and keep expanding and getting more back turbines, such as this. Back turbines are also very crucial in base design because they shift the center of gravity a lot further backwards and also pull on this by putting pressure here and relieving pressure here, which means that when they shoot you and when your entire wood and when braces collapse, you see that these struts are actually very, very not red, except this strut essentially, which was a result of us getting pelted earlier. You see none of these struts are really stressed, which means that any cannon shells or anything that hits them, your entire base is not resting any weight on them, so it's not going to collapse into itself. Also, make sure to get these. Can I? Not that. These also helps. So yeah, that's what you want to do. And if you want to do more dense bracing outside, this would another dense bracing outside. I really like this because it makes any howitzers break outside, since howitzers go through 4 layers of wood. And if you want to get batteries, you can just, you know, do this. A lot of people I see put batteries here, namely Ryazvik, and they get punished for it every time because a cannon shell can fly cleanly through like this. If you don't want to get drop shotted, just do something looking like this, and then you should be fine. And sometimes there's bottom shots, so you can just do something like this and you'll be fine. And yeah, that's basically the vanilla 4v4 and new modern base design tutorial that I would recommend everybody start using from now. Another note, there's terrain here a little bit. I just want to quickly add, you can build out like this, which is a lot easier than my previous base design. And you can see like, and you can keep building out like a lot easier if you just go out all the way to the side here, making sure that this node could hit the ground and this would collapse. So make sure this has some distance. I'm cutting it very close here, but making sure that's safe. And another thing is that if energy shields are kind of expensive to run, note the turbines, the wind cone only goes so far. So if you build out far enough, can I delete that? If you build out far enough, you can you can get away with things like this, where these actually don't really reduce your turbine efficiency. And for example, if they're shooting your turbines a lot, which is bad, you can use return to sender, something looking like this, very far away, and right here. And also increases the chance of them shooting themselves. It's very funny, it's very nice. So yeah, do that. I think a very good example of when I've used this, as much as I hate showing this replay, is this rank game that I played fairly recently here. So I start off here. This is pretty high elo ranked. And I believe this is Julian, which is top 3 players, top 5 forts players. I'm probably close to top 15, top 20. I'm still very good at this game, but I still got a little bit of distance from me from what, like, the best players. I build back a little bit earlier than you should here, but I still get all my mines before expanding too much. And, you know, I'm just doing my regular setup. I get this tech, and I get upgrade center, ASAP. Recognize that I'm Spook, which is probably the most popular commander right now, and it's very good because you can spot any threats. And also, for example, you can get away with selling basically every piece of your metal, because if they build buzzsaws, you can know, and then you could defend preemptively. And if they don't build buzzsaws, you do get away with the increased metal sell, as well as overdrive being nerfed. And here you see me struggle with that strat a little bit, but at the end of the day, I do get it. And place this cannon tech here, make sure this is slanted a little bit further up, and our opponent here, I presume, is also very good, using the same base design as well here, such as Our base design is slightly different, but we got the core concepts down, essentially. Upgrade a few turbines. This is because cannons do require a lot of energy now, like ridiculously much. So upgrading 3 or 2 turbines is fine if you're going for full eco. And if you could upgrade every turbine if you're overdrive as well. Go ahead and get this. I'm getting buzzed out a couple times. I don't think the opponent gets any value though. I can place the sandbag here so the buzz out doesn't get value. There's actually a sneaky sandbag here. I go for a howitzer. Howitzers is just fine. And the reason why I place my tech here, even though it could be shot by a cannon from above, is because I can quickly sell this in the future, which I plan to, and that's no longer a threat. Here I get buzzed out a couple extra times, and I end up being fine. And the reason I can defend preemptively because I'm spook and I can easily tell that there's buzzsaws. Skipping forward a little bit too. My energy production gets hit a little bit few times. I put return descenders, and we can see this cannon stack happening out here. I get drop shotted, which is not good. But you can see the sandbag defense working out very well here because when they shoot this, it's like basically like half the repair cost since literally all the direct damage will be tanked by the sandbags. And you can see me here use sandbags from when they're about to shoot, and when I hear doors opening or not, or when I see them firing a volley, I place sandbags in front. And yeah, my opponent's also doing fine as well. Having slight stability issues because they're bad, but you see me getting obliterated here. One thing with Spook is that it steals, I believe, 2,000 energy, or is it 3,000? Every single time you press, it's 2,000 energy every time you press the ability. If the opponent is below 2,000 energy, what's really broken is that all their shields still will disable and all their return descenders will disable, which is a mistake I made. I should have known that my opponent was very obviously Spook at this point. This is also very ugly. Don't do this like this. It's you can't stack many turbines on this. I just didn't have the APM to. But this making sure that when you're playing against Spook, you always have above 2,000 energy so that your opponent doesn't absolutely embarrass you like this. Opponent's also gone for a shotgun, which down here, and multiple shotguns actually, to ensure that, you know, I have a bad time. I end up getting a door snipe, which I was obviously aiming for, but I'm still like a little bit behind here, just mainly because this person has shotguns and stuff. But this is probably the closest I've been to winning in this match. And here my opponent goes for EMPs and rockets, which is a threat I can easily detect with the fact that I'm Spook. And we're just having a back and forth cannon battle here. It's nothing too fancy. They're having some howitzers. I'm firing back. I'm replacing the sandbags like this. Here's the howitzer catcher coming in. I do sandbags here when they're firing. And then, yeah, essentially it's just the back and forth cannon volley. And they get their howitzers back. I don't really... Here's the thing. I sold my... sell my tech usually, upgrade center, whatever tech, so I can get, what, like an extra cannon of eco, which usually does pay off. For example, I got an extra howitzer here. But, you know, I would recommend usually selling your tech just because it makes you a little bit faster. But if you're good enough at the game, if you can adapt enough, which my opponent does, my opponent keeps their techs or at least rebuilds them to get shotguns, which are very good against howitzers. So this is very well played by Julian here. At least I presume it's Julian. Looks like Julian. Getting a few cannon shots, very back and forth, but essentially this is just good base design forward. He just eventually brute forces enough because he has shotguns, making my howitzer obsolete, and just eventually brute forces enough where Spook just wins the Spook matchup. It's a little bit sad loss for me. I'm going in pretty sad in rank right now, but you know, it's all about getting better and not necessarily like the score, which, you know, just be happy with what you got. So now we're gonna move on to Stalactites here, and a very new base design that was basically just invented, or maybe just popularized. Some people have disputed it, saying it's been it's existed for a while, but this is the first time I've started seeing it a couple months ago. It's this base design. So the usual base design I would do that I showed you in my last tutorial is front lean, which is fairly complicated. It's very expensive because you can't get back turbines immediately, and you need to get like this convoluted turbine setup at the very start, which makes you very, very vulnerable to like an EMP. EMP hits with this turbine dies, everything here gets disabled. EMP hits here, you get the point. Very, very, very convoluted, and if they go for like shotguns or not, you got to sell these turbines and expand back. And you know, it's got some drawbacks, but you know, it's got extra stability, right? You can get most namely is that once you build it out like this, you can get this forlong over here, doubling the strength of this strut, which is very, very nice. So, but you know, it's still expensive. You still got to replace and add new nodes. It's okay. So what people have figured out is that hey, we can maybe try to get the same stability without any of the sacrifices. You can still get starting turbines like this, but immediately, starting off, is that you can go ahead and get turbines just going like this. This is almost like a very standard through-long base design with just a couple tweaks. You get 2 turbines, you can convert all of this to background bracing. If you're confused about the back turbines, the Vicar has a very good tutorial on it. But you convert everything to background bracing, and here what's different is you sell 3 nodes. A lot of nodes to sell, but it actually doesn't impact the stability. Alright, selling these nodes have never killed my stability ever. Trust me, do not keep them. This is like the main point of this base design. Now, you want to connect this right here. You drag down here, 72 energy, 71 energy, whatever it is, making sure that you can connect this strut, you can connect this strut, and this strut's optional, I guess, but you can sell this now. And here, what's really interesting is that you can sell this immediately, and see, make your base wobble a little bit, but your base is pushed a little bit to the front. This is like micro dosing front lean, but what this also allows you to get is this front 4-long, which is crazy. That's just enough because this node has moved ever so slightly to the right, meaning that this strut can now go through without, if it was, for example, here, this would be going through the wall. And that's how that works. And if there's a giant hole in the base, which you can quickly fix by doing this. And since these are, oh my gosh, I'm having less struts, but it's okay. You pull down here, right? What's going on? You're pulling on 3 3-longs and 2 4-longs. That's as stable as it gets. You're fine. There's so many other things that are going to start blinking before that happens. But anyways, we can just start do the rest of your base. Fun fact, if you can turn on grid and pull all the way to the left here, you can actually get nerf node, which allows you to keep control to your mines while being disconnected. You see, I'm connected to my mines here. And the rest is similar to the 4-long base design internal. So something looking like this. Get a strut where I can connect this. Go ahead and go like this. Drag a strut where you can get this. Go like this. This. Come on. This. This. Can I get this strut? This strut. This strut. And I've literally never had one of these struts start blinking. There's so many other things. Actually, this space is so stable enough where, like, even though you're technically less stable than a 4-long base design, you don't ever need to worry about it. It's really good. The only downside to it is not actually the front stability part. The only downside is that I believe this strut starts blinking a lot quicker since you're applying a lot more stress on this immediately after selling this, which means that usually when you're building your back turbines, keep in mind that after you build like 5 back turbines, you should really get this node here to start helping the stress from here. But once you get this node, even if this breaks, which I don't remember the last time it broke, even though it starts blinking a lot, you're gonna be fine. You're redistributing it a lot in a lot of other struts. And here you can just kind of build your wood spam, something looking like this. Don't slant too much. 52 energy like this, 51 energy, 52 energy like this. And you can drag this to the left so you can get this 4-long here, which is the entire point of this front lean here. Make sure to sell this basically at the start of the game. You go like this. And you go up like this, and then you connect it like this. And you get the point. You just more stability. I think it, and then you can also, once you build out a little bit further here, you can get this 4-long, something like this, and then you're having a very good day. If you want to go double howitzer, the procedure is still normal. Let's go ahead and get EMP tack, upgrade center, and get this cannon tack. All of this is very similar to my double howitzer design. You don't actually need to upgrade turbines. You can downgrade turbines now, that's cool. Yeah, if you can't get this, you just kind of build down like this, and drag up like this such. Howitzer, howitzer, very simple. Still the same thing. You know the drill. And I really can't be bothered to complete the rest, but you get the point, man. You can also use, for example, like I said earlier in the vanilla base tutorial, is you can just do something looking like this. I actually will bother with doing this. It's good practice. I broke my wrist recently, but I still got it. Yes, I still got it. Yes, howitzers, they still work. Yeah? Yeah. If you want, also, if you want a cannon stack, you just go down like this. And, just as a proof of concept, I'm gonna show you how stable this thing is. Like, sure, yeah, tell me this is not enough stability. I think you're fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Oh my gosh, it's less stable. It's less stable. I mean, come on. You're doing great. You'll be fine. You really don't need to worry about so much stability issues with these bases. It's a lot stabler and it's a lot better. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and showcase this with a replay as I did for the previous part of the video, I suppose. I go ahead and do similar design like this. Oh, by the way, you can sell the strut, but make sure you're selling it at the right time. This is basically the only time to really sell this strut when you have, this is the only time where you should sell this strut and replace it, because if you do it earlier, then your base falls apart, and if you do it any later, then there's too much weight here, and your entire base can break, which I've had happen to me before, which was really tragic. So you want to have exactly this setup before you sell the strut. So this order is very important here. I'm just doing my regular bases on here. Go ahead and go for some EMP harassment. And this is just not a ranked game and a slightly less experienced opponent. But here I'm going to also show you this new laser doors, which have been also just popularized. If you slant your lasers down as opposed to where they would be shooting, slanting it down like this, or probably more, is better. You can go ahead and put tiny doors on lasers, which if you don't slant down, you get absolutely completely trashed from the angle. I have some angle issues here. This laser is also I've been trying out a little bit recently. It's very good because its only usage is because if they have, usually people place howitzers here and howitzer here literally 99% of the time. And it's very hard to like door snipe if you have an angle of here, right? Because it's all the way inside. But if you have a laser directly like this, all you got to do is shoot horizontally and you get this insane door snipe, which is very fun. And here you see me using Spook as Pinch Fist was nerfed. It's not bad now. It's still probably like an A tier commander. It's still very good. I plan to use it a lot. Keep using it, but Spook is just a little bit more fun now. It's kind of like Overdrive even, but more fun. Anyways, this guy gets kind of sad. I don't know what's said in the chat. I'm not gonna... You can see this blinking, but it'll never break. But you can see these lasers have very good angle, and I'm just having a very good time. And he's not having a very good time, but is he? He's not having a very good time at all. Some 20 mils, standard action. But as you can see, one important thing to note here is that, like, for example, even if these struts break, like, you have this is enough stability. Well, even if that node breaks, maybe I would still be fine. I don't know, but you get the point. Anyways, yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that was good. Like and subscribe always has sounded corny, but I feel like I really have to say it. And thank you guys for 1K. I'm getting money now. Thank you very much. Give me more, please.